Once upon a time, butlers and personal assistants were the domain of the rich and wealthy. But thanks to the internet and companies like Honestbee, personal concierge services are accessible to all and sundry. Country Manager Marianne Chuo explains. Marianne, thank you for joining us. Now, as I understand it, you started operations somewhere in July 2015. And then I think you raised outside external capital in a couple of months after that. So I think you raised about $15 million US, and you're in 8 countries as a result ensuing that. Biggest markets are Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Malaysia somewhere in between in terms of gross merchandise value. Can you just quickly explain the business model of Honestbee?
Okay, Honestbee, we're actually an online concierge delivery service. What we do is we bring groceries and all your other household products to the customers as early as the next hour. And then we are currently in, as you mentioned, about 8 different countries, and we offer different types of services in the different countries depending on the different demands and the needs of the customers.
Okay, so when you say concierge, that's a bit upper class, a bit atas kind of like target market. Clearly, you're in Montclair, you're in Bangsa, I think Damansara Heights, and those kind of affluent areas.
Yeah.
So you would basically send your people out and procure merchandise on my behalf. You would go into the aisles of BIG, or you go and buy some stuff for me from the shops and you bring it to my home. What kind of business model are we talking about from Honestbee's perspective?
Okay, so for Honestbee, we're actually a very asset-light company. We don't own any of the fleet or the vehicles that you see running on the road.
So you deliver by cars?
Oh no, in Malaysia we actually deliver predominantly by bikes.
Okay.
Though we do have other vehicles in place as well.
Right, so you pay for the cost of the vehicle, the freelancers as it were, right?
Yes,
so
correct.
In Malaysia there are cars. What about Singapore, Taiwan and Hong Kong?
For Singapore and Hong Kong, they actually rely on a car fleet, though they do have a mixture of bikes as well. For example, in Singapore, right, bikes are predominantly used for food. But for groceries, we actually use cars to do quite a lot of the heavy lifting that we have.
So Singapore and Hong Kong are among the most traffic jammed cities in the world, and probably one of the most expensive places in the world to have a car.
Right.
Most of the margin, if not quite a lot of the margin, will be in servicing those logistics costs. No.
Yes, as it is true that they are they are quite congested cities. But at the same time, if you compare, let's say, Singapore's traffic versus the traffic that we have here in Malaysia or in Indonesia, it's actually less congested than us. And also, efficiency. There are different efficiency gains that we can achieve through those markets as well. For example, like if I make my coverage area smaller, right? I can still meet the same service levels as well as achieve a certain level of cost.
So the promise from your perspective is that if I put in an order at say 3:45 in the afternoon, your promise to me is to deliver to my doorstep by 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So between the time my order goes in at 2:45, you send one of your people out to the store, go to the aisles and pick up my stuff, and then jump into the car and come to my house by 5. If you don't make that 5 o'clock deadline, which is the next serviceable hour, what happens?
Then we will have to we have to come in with our customer service, apologize to the customer, and of course issue a coupon if necessary.
Something Domino's says, if they don't deliver within the hour, then I get my pizza for half price. Is that what happens with you guys?
We do issue out a coupon to our customers as well, to satisfy them due to our late delivery.
Right, so presumably margins are dependent on after your costs of procurement, after your logistics, after your people costs are taken out. I presume that's your margin on top of that. So typically, when you tell your investors, your financials, what kind of margins are you promising them?
Those kind of margins we're not allowed to disclose actually, because this is between us and our investors and us and our partners. But for us, what we do is with our partners, we do aim to drive healthy growth on a month-to-month basis with them in terms of driving up GMV into our
gross merchandise value.
Yes, gross merchandise or sales, if you will, sales and revenue, if you will.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. You started operations in July 2015.
Yes,
and
in Singapore.
In Singapore.
Yeah.
And then you raised Series A in September 2015, which is about 2 or 3 months after that. And you raised $15 million US, right?
Right.
You obviously can't disclose the valuation numbers to us.
I'm sorry, we can't.
But our first impression is after 3 months and you raise equity capital funding, that's usually the most expensive kind of funding because operations are still quite nascent. So, what kind of promises did you make to your investors? And in fact, who are your investors?
Our investors are actually formation aid They are a venture capital group that has ties to Silicon Valley. Yeah.
When you say ties to Silicon Valley, what does that mean? Sounds fantastic and sexy, but what does it mean?
It means they are based out of Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the larger idea for Foundation 8? What is the promise? Is it an IPO in 3 years? Is it 17 countries by 2018? Or, I mean, what is the growth plan? Is this going to be a regional play? Is it going to be a Asian play? Is it going to be a global play? What is it going to be?
Currently, we want to be the largest supermarket, the largest and most convenient supermarket in the world. So this means offering, and what we do in every single country is quite localized. It depends on what the country needs and the country wants. So for example, in Singapore, right, we offer all these verticals, groceries, food, laundry, health and beauty, home and auto. We recently launched another vertical called Honestbee Zip, which is a parcel delivery system, right, that we have in some of our countries. And then if you look at Taiwan, they have something unique. For example, collection. It's actually a recycling service. There's actually a need for you to segregate trash properly in Taiwan. So hence we offer this service to them in Taiwan. And similarly in Malaysia, we started off with groceries. We recently launched food. And at the same time, we have more exciting verticals in place for us to become one of the most convenient marketplaces. But again, Malaysia is only 2 months old. We officially launched on the 28th of February. And we are looking to more exciting verticals in the future as well.
So what's the big picture? 3 years out, what is Honestbee going to look like in terms of being a group?
3 years is a bit far. We always think in terms of a few months. So yeah, seriously. I mean, if you ask me like 3 years ago, whether I'll be doing this, being in this business and doing this line, maybe not. Like I wouldn't even know what will happen. But all I know is that we just look forward in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, what do we want to achieve? And if someone else comes in along the way, we need to adjust accordingly. We need to be a bit more agile in the way we tackle the market.
So very 21st century, very malleable, no fixed business plan. Try and in a way make it up as you go along?
No, we won't say that. We do have a few verticals in the pipeline coming soon this year. But what I say is like how we choose to launch which one, it depends on the market condition as well, right?
Okay.
And
so
we need to adjust accordingly.
8 countries, Marianne?
Yeah.
And 3 years, how many countries? I mean, there has to be some kind of like benchmarks and milestones along the way, right?
Definitely more.
Yeah. So
we
throw some numbers at us. Throw some details at us. What kind of growth plans are we looking at within 3 years?
We definitely are looking to expand into a few more countries within the Asia region. The verticals will differ based on the different countries. And for us in Malaysia, it's all about doubling and tripling growth on a month-to-month basis. For us, it's very clear, whatever we achieve next month, I want to double up.
Okay. End goal, IPO or end goal, trade sale or end goal, private equity, what is it going to be?
IPO, that's not for me to answer. It depends largely on my CEO's direction, how he chooses to take the company forward. Yeah. For as of now, he will like to grow it internally first before we talk about IPO and so on. We need to be as mature as like Singapore in all 8 different countries. I think that's a very good benchmark and a very good target to actually set. Because Singapore actually has set the bar very high for the rest of us.
Okay, good. Last question then. Since Singapore set the bar, what's the gross merchandise value for Singapore? Or can you not tell us?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. These are certain numbers that you need to understand that we cannot reveal.
Well, hopefully in 1 or 2 years' time when we talk again, I'm sure you can share these details with us.
Of course, definitely.